How do you know you're buying a house in the place where you really want to live? What's important to you? Hi folks, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Tom Mason with West USA Realty, and as an advocate for you, if I'm on the buyer side, I want to make sure that you understand everything about the area you're going to buy and you don't get any surprises regarding two of the most important factors for many home buyers, and that includes crime and schools. The document we'd like to use is the buyer advisory, so let's take a look at that real quick. So one thing realtors have to do is they have to be the source of the source rather than the source. When you go to buy a home, we're always going to provide you, in Arizona anyway, this form. It's the buyer advisory, and my gosh, it is long. Because we can't be the source of information, we try to show you where to go to find the information you need. Crime statistics, Community Crime Act for LexisNexis, very good. We're going to take a look at that in just a minute. And then schools. So crime and schools, two very important parts of buying a home. So in the buyer advisory, I mentioned the Community Crime Map. CommunityCrimeMap.com is run by LexisNexis, and they do, for the most part, they have a pretty good coverage of the valley. But you'll notice there are two places in the valley that don't participate with LexisNexis. That's the city of Glendale and the city of Peoria. So if you live in Glendale or you live in Peoria, contact the mayor's office for each of those places. Tell them you'd like their police departments to use LexisNexis, to communicate with LexisNexis. It's free. LexisNexis helps the police departments register and input their information, so it's really pain-free. So Glendale and Peoria, if you're going to check or you want to live there, you're going to have to go to Neighborhood Scout or whatever they use for their jurisdiction. Normally it's Neighborhood Scout, which is separate, but I really like LexisNexis, so I'm going to use that for this demonstration. And one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to sort of the center of Phoenix, right down Central Avenue, and I can zone in on particular areas. I can actually set filters for what I want to see. So a lot of times on LexisNexis, they're going to have the big offenses: assault, homicide, murder, simple assault, burglary, attempted homicide, robbery. They'll have sexual assault, they'll have arson. Those are normally what you're going to see when you log in there. So I deselect this, I select all of them, and I deselect all other non-criminal, because I don't really care about the non-criminal offenses. And then what I can do is I can change my date range. You'll notice it's going to give you about a month. I like to go back to the previous summer. Why the previous summer? Because we have crime that goes up during summer. So I'm going to start way back on June 1st of 2023 and go all the way to today, and I will apply these filters now. Now you notice how much more populated from our initial view on what's going on, and I can see in this area with LexisNexis we have fewer assaults, fewer crimes going on in this area here. To the west, we get into Maryland Gardens, we get into Alhambra. Those areas are Maryvale. We're going to see a lot more crime. So you can see, if you zoom out, it'll repopulate and give you all the crime. Now, another thing you can do, if you really just want a real nice visual of this, go back to your filters, go to Analytic Layer, and put on the density map. So this density map, once I apply it, you're going to see that this now becomes a temperature map. Whether it's hot, cold, what crime has done in this period of time during the filter time that I've used. So you only have a few problems here in this area, but the place where the problems are the most prevalent, it's going to be hot. Let's go down south here. Now we can see a little bit more crime, and the reason I say more crime, every time you click on one of these numbered items, you're going to see that there are 7 incidents just on this one spot. And this is a retail area. This is Christown Mall, and so you would expect you're going to have a lot more shoplifting, a lot more property crime, and that's what you'll see inside there. These little emblems, these icons will tell us what they are. If I rest my mouse over it, I see shoplifting here, and then down here I see theft with a little bag. Now I see a fist, that's assault, simple, and then over here with the hammer, there's vandalism. So these icons will also tell you what's going on in the area. The area that you pick, it's very interesting to go in and take a look at it. Now again, I mentioned I work West Valley, so Glendale and Peoria really don't provide this information. It's not like Glendale doesn't have any crime. So for those agencies that don't use LexisNexis Community Crime Map, such as Peoria Police Department, I usually go to their website and I will advise you to do the same and look at their crime stats. They have monthly crime stats, they have a police incident map, and we'll open that up and take a look. We'll look at the last 90 days. Boom. And if I look at the most recent ones, I'll look last 7 days, not a lot going on. But if I go back to the last 90 days, now I can zoom in. And again, these use very similar icons to LexisNexis. This is the other option you have from LexisNexis. I don't like it as much, and that's why if you live in Peoria or if you live in Glendale and you want them to report onto LexisNexis, you're going to have to use some political power by contacting the mayor's office to ask them to do that. So that's the coverage of the crime, but what about schools? Again, schools are important. Now, even if you don't have kids in school, places that have better schools normally have a little bit more community involvement. It's a little bit more important to people to be in places that have great schools. You can actually take a look at school report cards through the Arizona Department of Education. That's under the Parents tab. Go to School Report Cards, and then in here you can type in whatever school district that you're interested in living in. So let's take a look at, let's say, Peoria Unified School District. You'll see they'll pop up and you'll be able to take a look at what happens inside this school district. You can also look for individual schools, your preschool through seniors. Take a look at enrollment, demographics. You also have the achievement of these students inside this area, and you can actually break this down. Normally, grade 3 and grade 8 are two things that you want to look at because these are where they really get tested to find out where they sit. How many highly proficient and proficient students do you have among all, or among female or male, or by demographic breakdown on race? Let's take a look at grade 8 and see if there's any progression at that point. And you see that this is the statewide assessment. What else can we look at here? Well, let's go to the Cartwright Elementary District and see how they do. We scroll down again. Let's take a look at the achievement for them. Again, you'll see that a little bit tougher to teach in those Title I schools when you have poverty. Even if we go to whole school year enrollment, you're not going to see a great outcome for these kids. We're going to go to grade 3. So in Peoria, for whole year enrolled students, we saw 45% proficient or highly proficient. Here in Cartwright, you're going to see 19%. A school district like this might not be one that you want to buy a home if you have children. Let's go to an individual school. For this example, I want to go to Sunrise Mountain. Sunrise Mountain is in a nice part of the town, a little bit more affluent in that area. So when I look at Sunrise Mountain High School, for instance, we'll see a school grade of A. The individual schools will have these grades if they were able to capture that information. This is grades 7 through 12. If we go down, we're going to see demographics here. We're going to see inexperienced versus experienced. So you'll notice even at Sunrise Mountain, they have taken on some inexperienced teachers because of the teacher shortage here in Arizona, but they're still doing pretty well. And then when we take a look at grade 8 and 11, remember those are two important ones we want to look at. We want to look at grade 11 now, and we'll see for whole year enrolled students, proficiency ratings of 55%, higher than the overall for the Peoria School District, even though Sunrise Mountain is in the Peoria School District. Navigating to find out school report cards, pretty easy. You can go to Arizona Department of Education, azed.gov, and go to the school report cards. Click on the schools, the districts, look at the state reports if you're looking for a very particular kind of school district. So the buyer advisory gives us a lot of information to look at. Two most important ones for me, I always look at crime in schools. And I hope this video helps you find those sources of information. As a real estate agent, I am the source of the source, but I can't be the source. I can't tell you that these schools are absolutely great unless I've been checking them, and I'm still going to refer you to their website so you can check it for yourself. Same with crime. I can tell you it's a low crime area, but is it? Check the maps. They're there for you. They're going to help you find a safe, perfect place for you to live. If you have any questions about how to find a great house, give me a call.